So here we are on the 22nd of February 2022. So it's 22/02/2022. And actually, this is a really, really fascinating day. And I'll explain why this is a fascinating day in just a moment. But did you realize that the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022 can be read the same left to right, right to left, and also upside down? This was what makes it actually quite a rare day. In fact, probably in your lifetime, this is the only time this is ever going to happen. In fact, it is the only time this is ever going to happen. It's what's called a palindrome, but also it's an ambigram at the same time. And you can Google those if you don't believe me. But the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022, so 22022022, absolutely unique moment. And why do we all get so excited by little things, little moments like this? Because, of course, if you think about it, surely because it's a human calendar, it actually has no meaning anyway, really. It's kind of the meaning that we all tend to give it. And for me, this is why things like, let's take, for example, Christmas. You just sort of think, well, that's a human kind of creation. Something like Christmas is a human thing. And we all get very, very excited. But is it actually any different to any other day that when we're alive, we can enjoy, we can be part of, we can experience, and we can really, really optimize and make the most of? So why would a day like the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022 be any different just because it happens to have a number? And you tell me. I've always been really confused by this. This is something that's kind of, I guess, one of those sad little things that I've thought about for many, many years and just kind of really not been able to kind of figure it out until Sonia actually said to me when I was talking to her about this, and in a particularly kind of nerdy moment, was sort of saying about, look, why does this kind of thing happen, and what's going on, and why do we associate so many positive things with kind of moments like this, special festivals, particular days, when the moon is pointing in a certain direction. I made that one up. But do you know what I mean? It's these things that we kind of associate and we give, significant meaning to as humans. Why do we do this? Well, it's probably not so much the why do we do it, but rather more what actually happens when we do. Because significant things happen on days like this. And so I've been quite, fascinated by this. Is why is that? Because surely, if this is a human construct, this date today is just another day that just happens to have a set of numbers associated with it. Why does that actually then change anything? Why does it make today, where the sun rose, the sun's going to set, and have the same number of hours, got the same amount of experience or potential experience in the day? Why is today going to be any different? And really interestingly, in a very, very wise way, Sonia said, well, do you not realize actually what's going on here is that because so many of us are taking this perspective, so many of us are thinking this kind of thing, so many of us are voting energy into something like this, that actually it generates its own energy because of that. So the collective energy of, and let's use Christmas again as another example, the collective energy of Christmas makes it what it is. So in other words, if I'm thinking about Christmas and planning presents and deciding what I'm going to do and where we're going to be, and you're doing it, and your friend's doing it, and a member of your family's doing it, and pretty much everybody else who is in this kind of society or this kind of community is doing a similar thing. And I'm just using Christmas as a random example. But if we're all doing it, then that in itself is creating an energy around it. So it isn't so much the fact it's that specific date or that specific moment in time, it's the collective energy that creates the momentum. So that got me thinking. And then I thought, okay, that does make a lot of sense because we're all energy. Everything is energy. Nothing is anything but energy. So therefore, if we're aligning energy in a certain direction or collectively at a certain time, or a significant number of people are, this is a lot of energy. And this could be put to very, very good use. And, you can kind of feel it. If you go to a big sporting event, you're in a great big stadium, you can literally cut the collective energy with a knife. I mean, literally, it feels like that, doesn't it? So why can't we put this to better use in a day-to-day sense? Why can't we use a moment like 22:02:2022 to just remind us that we can actually make energy. We can actually create energy. We can focus energy. We can prioritize our energy. So I've got a little thing for you to try today. And I've seen this over the years work time and time and time again. And I guess if we're to believe what I'm suggesting here, it's probably no surprise. But I would like to challenge you today to create some energy, okay, to really focus some energy by thinking of something that you really enjoy, thinking of something that you really want, thinking of something that you kind of need right now, or a scenario or a situation or a person that you want to kind of bring into your world, into your life in a positive way. Okay, so this is all for good. Okay, that we're not going to be messing about with anything but good here. So this is done in a very kind of loving and positive way. Okay, so this is all we're allowed to do. So the challenge for the day, and if you play this, honestly, you will find something miraculous happens. I don't know why, but maybe it is what we're discussing here, this whole thing about focusing the energy. But if you start to tell people, if you start to think this thing, okay, in a really positive sense, and you really embrace it, you embody it, you allow the emotion, the feeling of the thought to come through as well. So you really get into it. It's not any good. It's not going to work if you just think something and think, okay, well, I just thought that. Now, where is it? It's not going to happen. Okay, so you have to really embody the feeling, embody the energy, and then put it out there and say, okay, like-minded energy, where are you? Come on, let's make this thing happen. Don't chase it. It's not about chasing it, but it's about allowing this thing to flow. So if it's a person, a situation, a thing, something you desire, something you want, something you need, just give it some energy today and start telling people about it. Tell people what you're doing. Tell people what you've done. Just share. So this isn't asking for stuff. This is just sharing what's going on. Okay, because you will find the more you tell people, the more that you share the observation or you share the encounter or you share the situation, the more it starts to build energy. I've found this, particularly with things like, let me use as an example, my podcast, for example. When I first started my podcast, I thought, what am I going to do? It's just going to be me talking all the time. And I thought, well, people are going to run out of interest in that one. So I'm going to have to interview some people. So what I did is I literally put it out there. Now you could say, well, that's just you telling people about it. And of course they're going to come, but something feels different when you do it like this, when you actually put things out there to not chase, but to allow the universe, whatever you want to call it, to bring this thing and this stuff to you. And I have to say, I had connections. You could call it synchronicity. You could call it coincidence. I'm not so sure. I think there's something else going on here. But things happen. People arrived in really strange directions and strange routes at my door and were saying, I know somebody who would potentially want to be on your podcast. Are you interested in connecting? And I was thinking, how on earth did that happen? Where did that come from? And it was purely because I was making energy. I was focusing. I knew I had a need. I knew I had a desire for this thing to happen. And so I just started sharing it. And the more I shared, the more energy it gained. And the better the results were. So a little game for you to play, a little technique for you to play today is see if on the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022, 2202, 2022, this unique day, this unique moment in time, of course, every moment is unique in time, but let's just focus today on this one and see if you can make some energy around something that you desire, want, or need, not to chase, but to just give it the energy, give it the permission to arrive for you. And the more you tell, the more you think, the more you feel, the more you embody it, the more chance you have for this thing to actually manifest. So let's make energy today and let me know how this goes. I really, really want to hear from you once you start putting this into practice and have a little play with it. It's really fun. It's really positive. You must only do this with good intention. It's all about good intention. This is really what this is about. But make the most of today. Just seize this little moment and share. Make energy on the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022.